So people think on Shark Tank I'm very nice. I'll fire her ass in a second too, and I try to outperform my people. Well, how many people here own a business? Damn! Everybody in the room, I closed Fubu down 3 times. I kept running out of money. The deal was I had to sell $5 million worth of stuff in 3 years. Every day, store owners, they would call and say, this Fubu stuff is moving faster than Nike. I sold, if Mark Cuban woke up with my money, he would jump out the window.
That's crazy.
And if Bill Gates woke up with Mark Cuban's money, he'd jump out the window.
Right.
And if Bezos woke up with that, it doesn't stop.
I'm about to interview Shark Tank's Daymond John at my recent Hudson Valley event on stage in front of 300 ticketed entrepreneurs. How did I get here? I walked up to Daymond in a bar, asked him to be on a podcast. A year later, became his content coordinator and traveled all over the world. My mentor, New York Times best-selling author, cancer survivor, founder of the world's most iconic streetwear brand Fubu.
We're about to take fashion to a new level.
And co-star of the ABC hit television show Shark Tank. Welcome to episode 1, Secrets of Success. I am Bryce Eckwall, and this is Daymond John.
And local to the Hudson Valley, chose to be here with you tonight. Make some noise, get on your feet. This is Daymond John. Let's go.
What an intro. Holy
Thank you, sir.
crap.
Thank you.
Man, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Daymond John, you guys, this is crazy.
That is amazing.
Thanks, D.
All right.
So we have your coconut water here. Once upon a coconut, you were nice enough to bless the VIPs with this product. That's cool.
It's some good stuff, man. All right. So, you know what? I mean, I heard a little bit of what you were saying, and I wanted to make sure that I thanked who was. So I asked Bryce. I said, "Well, why are you doing this?" He said, "I don't know. I just care. I want to bring the community together." And I think I think that's always been something so special about him. The way we met. But I definitely want to make sure that we thank Heather and the Academy and Eric, of course, the building for allowing you to throw this event.
Yep, absolutely.
Q29, your company, if you don't know, I think everybody does know that he's one of the sharpest kids. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, D.
So, absolutely. Amazing content. And then Vidl, of course, Alex. And what was his partner name again?
Alex and Breven, who partnered on the event. Yep.
And KeyBank. Where's KeyBank at?
Yep, KeyBank's in the house. We got some people in the house from KeyBank.
Right,
Thank you so much for sponsoring the event.
All right, so now let's get into some Q&A, some fun stuff. I've been up here. I think I bought my property up here in '97.
What?
And I've been a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're the shark. Why are you in hurricanes right now eating wings?
That's crazy.
Well, where am I gonna eat? Or if I'm at Shadows, or remember what was that place right across the bridge, right down there, and they had right outside that. Oh my God, it was so amazing. Or just hanging out at Adams, or getting some. Where do we go? We get the
Pancake Factory.
Hans
You're
Farm,
always
or
Hans
getting my
Farm?
guns at Quattro's. Either way.
Unbelievable.
All right.
So
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, Daymond, mentorship, right? I've been lucky enough to see you mentor people. Obviously, you're literally known globally for mentoring people, not only on Shark Tank, but that's what you do. You're doing branding at the highest possible level on planet Earth for major CEOs, for even small businesses, right? Local businesses. You're endorsing people left and right and helping them with mentorship. So, and a lot of people in this room, like I've said last time with Ali, are team leaders. So how would you describe your style of mentorship?
My style is very open door policy. So people think on Shark Tank and Robert, very nice. I am nice. I don't think you should be rude to people, but I'll fire her ass in a second too, So I just believe in transparency, and I believe that whether it's your relationship with your child or your husband or wife or your employees or your boss, the gray area is where problems are, the area that nobody wants to speak about, or they think you know, they assume you know. So my thing is 80% of the people that work for me started off as some form of an intern or some form of, hey, listen, I usually get paid this, but for 3 months, I'll get paid this. And we both make an investment because you're not getting paid what you're used to, and I'm bringing you into my team where somebody has to stop and teach you and various other things. But I find that a lot of people want to be very judgmental about people and immediately make a call. If I don't train you properly or work the system, well, then I'm going to have to do it with somebody else. So I try to have as much communication as possible.
Yep.
And I try to outperform my people. I try to wake up before them and go to sleep after them. You've been working with me and my team. You see, I don't stop.
That's right.
So I demand only of people what I demand of myself.
Yeah, and I've noticed that in certain aspects, like, you know, and I'm sure this comes person to person, right? So particularly for me, you know, my experience with you, it's like I've described it to people like this: the coolest football coach I've ever had. You know,
Coolest what?
Football coach, right? So it's like challenging. You know, like you're 24/7 working. Like you do not sleep. You're doing this every single second. And how could you sleep when you're traveling all over the country every single day, speaking tours, everything, gigs, television, LA, Miami, New York, Alaska, I don't know where, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. So, okay, let's drop back a little bit.
With that being said, I want people to know I work just as hard on my private time and time with my health and my family and everybody else. So I don't want anybody to think that, thank you.
Yeah, make some noise, yep.
Yeah, I want to be very clear on that life-work balance is something that you have to work at very, you have to be very conscious about it. So as much as I work like that, I am very conscious about stealing away that half an hour a day, making sure that I watch something with my wife at night so we can just connect and do that. So I'm not the go hard, because money is not success, to be very honest. And a lot of people in the business people in this room or the people with it will know, money often just drives you up to your problems in a brand new Bugatti. And there's a lot of people that are no longer here that had a lot of money. So I want to make sure that's very clear.
If you have money, you're just driving to your problems in a brand new Bugatti. That's what he said. Okay, if anyone
because
can hear
like
that.
right now, if I wanted to be a billionaire, I actually could, right? I can go and raise a fund and say, there's a show called Mad Money. How many people here know Mad Money?
Mad Money?
So I have beat the streets, as they call it. I beat the streets 3 years in a row. I'm the #1 person who calls stocks either going up or going down. I get offers all the time. Hey, let's do a $100 million fund, a $200 million, $1 billion. What would I do with $1 billion? What would I do? I don't know. Get a bigger house get more homes. I had at the peak of my career when I spent too much. I had a lot of homes, but you end up staying in the kitchen, a little bit in the living room, watching TV in the bedroom.
That's crazy.
More boats, more cars. For what? For my friends to enjoy them?
Yep.
What would I do with it? Besides, give it away to those in need.
Do you think a little bit of that comes from, and I do want to talk about your charitable efforts, but do you think a little bit of that comes from your upbringing in Hollis, Queens? We're talking about like hustling 101, like on the corner selling hats. Do you think that mentality and the way you grew up has to do with your mindset today? What do you think?
No, because that mentality was the mentality of you need more, you need more, you need more. And I think that when around 2004, 2005, when I got my divorce, which I have a great ex-wife, when we sold all 7 of our homes, or we sold all of the cars just to go down to a very small imprint, I realized that all my friends enjoyed everything that I didn't enjoy. And I realized that I had no more stress because everything was so simple. You don't realize, like, if you have an expensive car, you think that that's the only expense. No, well, where do I park it now? Oh, those valet guys, they're charging me $100 just to park it there too. I can't park it next to this place because somebody's gonna chip the paint on it. What kind of mission? You think so much more about when you have more things and you're trying to keep up with people. You will never, ever have more money than somebody else. I know people that they have private jets, and they say, and they look at somebody else with a private jet and go, I will never get in a jet that I can't stand in and fully walk in. And then other people will look at that G6 and be like, oh, they make it in in my daughter's size because I got a jumbo jet. If Mark Cuban woke up with my money, he would jump out the window.
That's crazy.
And if Bill Gates woke up with Mark Cuban's money, he'd jump out the window.
Right.
And if Bezos woke up with that, it doesn't stop. So you're busy trying to impress a lot of people that couldn't give a shit about you instead of living the simple life that you want to live, Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So early days, right? Fubu. I don't know if everyone in the room knows about how Daymond literally hacked television by getting LL Cool J to wear his Fubu hat, and then all of a sudden Gap had a big problem. And I'm not going to take the words out of your mouth the way I've heard you tell the story, but I think what's more interesting is the part where the deal, right? The deal that you made that ended up taking Fubu to crazy success. Can you talk a little bit about the licensing deal and maybe the lead up and what it was like for you founding Fubu?
Oh, well, it wasn't a licensing deal. What it was manufacturing. So I think the best way for anybody here to take away what I had is that yesterday would be the 35th year, would be my anniversary when I stood on a corner in 1989, Good Friday, at 3:15 in the afternoon. I made a bunch of hats the night before. And I sold $800 worth of hats in 1 hour. And I remember it was that moment that I said, I made these hats with my own hand. I was my ability to show value to every single customer on the street. And it wasn't the same pitch. One is, this matches your clothes. This one was like, you're gonna look like De La Soul. This one was, it keeps your head warm. Treat your friends and family. And I got what we would call today analytics. Then I went on to, and I remember saying to myself that day that I was never going to work for anybody. That's your partner right there, Mr. Ponytail. Man, I love you, brother. Good dude.
Sean Reimuth.
Good dude, Brett and his sister. I see his sister over there. But I remember saying to myself that day, 1989, Good Friday, 3:50 in the afternoon, I sold $800 worth of hats. I'm never going to work for anybody ever again the rest of my life.
Wow.
I worked at Red Lobster for 5 years after that. But
it was that moment, right?
It was that moment that the light went. So by the way, for everybody in the room, I closed Fubu down three times from 89 to 92 because I kept running out of money. But the business kept calling me back because people would say, oh my God, I was looking for that piece and I wanted to go back. Before that, I had a van business where I was driving people around. I didn't like the business and I was working hard. I had also a crash car business where I'd go to the auctions, buy a crash car. I had it all figured out. 17 years old, I had $5,000 to my name. I worked really hard. I was gonna buy crash cars for $5,000, put $5,000 in them, drive them around until I can sell them and sell them for $20,000, no problem.
Wow.
But I'm not going my hands, and when I bought the crash cars, I had to put them together. And by the way, you're not getting dealer parts for $5,000. You're getting parts from people that you don't want to really deal with. So number one, I was working with my hands, and I didn't like that kind of labor. I wasn't skilled at it. I'm dyslexic, so like I was telling Gerard backstage, when I put something together, there's always like 15 screws left, and I go, they just made dupes.
Unreal.
Then all of a sudden, I'm dealing with this dark element. I hated it. I realized at that point that anytime anybody's done something purely for money, they either were miserable when they finally got it, or they ended up in the wrong place for it. And the movie Belly is about my friends, and they tried to induct me into selling drugs, and I refused to because I was really cute when I was growing up, and I didn't think that if I ended up in jail, it would end up the way that I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I just kept it 100. So, and by the way, when I started, hip hop is a very homophobic, or used to be. It's a very homophobic culture. So my friends, I grew up with Irv Gotti, Hype Williams, and the guy they made, DMX, the guy they made, not DMX, the one they made Belly about.
Yep.
So whenever they were going, and whenever the DMX guy was ever going to sell drugs, he'd be like, yo, you want to come with me? And for me to say, no, I got this strawberry pattern I just bought from the store. You got to see these hats I'm going to make. They would go. So they stopped talking to me. a lot of them. So then I found, when I started closing that business down, I started to find more friends, my 4 partners, Keith, Carl, and Jay, my 3 partners.
Yep.
We finally didn't get public recognition until 1997, 98. But what I did, instead of you seeing people on Shark Tank, oh, I'm all over the world, I just dealt with 8 stores in New York City. And what I did, instead of saying I was all over the world, I kept trying to maximize those stores. So if that store was selling 8 shirts a week, I was trying to push people there to sell 10, to sell 12, and then sell hats. And I was maximizing the stores.
Wow.
And so what happened there is, did I put on the shirt New York, Paris, and Japan? Yes, I had a cousin named Pookie in Paris. I mailed him a shirt. Technically, I was there. But when the big distributors started calling the store saying, hey, when I said, those people in the store, those small, everyday people, everyday store owners, they would call and say, this Fubu stuff is moving faster than Nike.
Wow.
And that's when I got my manufacturing deal.
Okay.
And the terms with Samsung Textile Division, because I didn't go to number 1, 2, and 3. I always go to number 20 or 30 who want to be number 1, 2, and 3, because they're going to need you way more than 1, 2, and 3. The deal was I had to sell $5 million worth of stuff in 3 years to keep my distribution deal.
Okay.
But I had already put the work in, and like everybody in this room who knows their customer because they love exactly what they do, I sold $30 million worth of clothes in 3 months. And that's when Fubu took off.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's incredible story, and I didn't know that. I want to jump back for a sec, if that's okay.
Sure.
It would be cool to continue on with the storyline, but I do want to jump back. We were talking about money and having a ton of it, and if it's valuable or not, or what you're gonna do. And I've heard you speak on this, like, the first generation builds it, the second generation enjoys it, and the third generation destroys it. Can you speak on that a little bit about new companies today and all that?
Well, financial intelligence is something they don't teach us in school. Our school system is broken. They're still going off of a school system that was created 80 years ago. There's no conspiracy. It's just that we're going off of a school system where we were growing up to build ships for war, and we were growing up to be great employees. And that's why I wrote Little Daymond Learns to Earn, because what happens is that the data is today, if the kid graduating today, 50% of them will retire with a job title that doesn't exist today. That's like telling somebody 20 years ago they were going to be an AI expert, a drone expert, an influencer, whatever the case is, right? A professional gamer. So if you're not teaching, and so the need for money, if you don't understand how money comes in at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the basic fundamentals of money, but then you're marketed by predatory people to get cars and loans by 17, 18, well then now a kid going to college, and I do believe in higher education, don't get me wrong, but at 18 years old, you can acquire now, by the time a kid born today will be 18, they will have $800,000 worth of student debt that they won't pay up until their 50s for 50% of them that didn't even need the education in that form. Mm-hmm. And when you do that,
it makes a noise. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And when you do that, that corrodes the whole system, because if you don't have money, well, what happens? Well, domestic violence goes up, gang violence goes up. You can't eat healthy because it's expensive. So what are the cheapest things to eat? The cheapest things in this country to make. They're made out of butter, sugar, and salt. And now you have, heart issues and various other things. So my answer to that is that financial intelligence was the most important thing. And by the way, I almost went bankrupt twice when I was broke, and once when I had 20 million in the bank. Because money is something that we are not taught. So that's why when I say, the first generation makes it, the second enjoys it, the third destroys it. Well, what if you had a lot of money and you didn't have financial intelligence because you were a trust fund? Well, why don't the Fords and the children of the Rockefellers, and they all do a lot of stuff for our country. They have great foundations, but why don't they own the Teslas and the Facebooks of the world? Because they don't know how to operate the money. They've been given it. The trust fund kids, not a problem with that. But it shows whether you have money and you don't have financial intelligence, or you don't have it. And 65% of lotto winners and athletes are bankrupt 3 years after leaving the league. Now, where is that a benefit for this crowd? 65% of the Forbes top wealthiest people in the world are self-made men and women. So if you're able to find that defining line in between there, have financial intelligence, and create something, that's what this country awards you on. They don't care what your goddamn last name is after you walk in the door. Are you gonna perform? Are you have financial intelligence? Are you gonna be of value to your people, to your customers? And that's where I always look at it and I always go, somebody's done this before. Why can't I?
Can you believe this, guys? Can you believe this? Make some noise, please. Wow. In Poughkeepsie.
Are we gonna get to Q&A too, or later on? Are we doing Q&A at all? I'm just curious.
Oh, I could do this all day, but I don't want to. I want to keep it
time. Make sure.
Yeah. You want to?
How many people here own a business? Raise your hand. Damn. All right, cool. Where's Champ and George at? Raise your hand. Champ, George, raise your hand. Stand up, Champ. And all right, those are my two guys out here, and they live out here. So if you ever see you got some business you want to do, you talk to those guys. Sorry, guys. And we're bartering and trading and doing all kind of shit around here. I didn't shout out the United Way.
Yeah.
Where's the United Way at?
Yep. United Way's in the house.
All right, there you go.
Thank you so much for being a part of this event.
Up.
Thank you, United Way.
Yeah. Champ is the one you put us with, United Way, right? Okay,
That's right.
There you go.
Thank you, Champ. Another story I love hearing you tell. You told it at Rise in, I think it was in Miami. When you went to New York Film Academy. This is telling of how brilliant you are of a tactician as an operator, even like predating Shark Tank. We're talking before reality TV. This is you going to New York Film Academy to study film so that you'd know how to product placement was going to be applied to Fubu in commercials, long shot, wide shot, medium shot. Like, that's crazy. Can you tell us a little bit about how your studies in film? I want me to open that for you?
No, okay. I'm listening.
Okay, yeah.
Tell us what part of the Film Academy?
At being at New York Film Academy, I'm just interested in knowing like how that was telling how that ended up helping you on Shark Tank. And I've heard you speak on it.
All right. So no matter where I'm at, I'm trying to maximize, you can open it. No matter where I'm at, I'm trying to maximize my time. So I worked at Red Lobster. None of the other waiters would read the annual reports from Red Lobster or the quarterly reports, but I would just read the reports. I knew that I needed to pay to go to college or I could work here at Red Lobster and get information from, this great corporation. I realized, and like many people here who are probably restaurant owners, they didn't make money off the steak. They made money off the appetizers, the drinks, and the desserts. So to me, it was common sense that if I get paid, hopefully 20% off of a check, maybe 10%, those Europeans are 4% all day. But if I get paid that percentage off a check, I decided, why don't I just go to the table and I used to always do this, hey, you know what? The dessert may take a while, really busy night. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have it for you. If you want, look at it now when you order. I'll put it on the check. I won't put it on the check, but I'll hold it aside for you. And I'll never put it on the check if you don't want it. Nobody ever didn't want the dessert. Ever. Somebody would lie. Oh, I'm gonna take it home, give it to my dog. That ended up increasing my salary by 20% every year, just by doing that. So when I look at things, I always look at things as how can I maximize my time. So I was doing these video sets from the years 1998 to 2003, I placed the most goods, whether it's my goods or other people's goods, in videos and TVs. I was placing them an average of 300 videos a year.
Wait, 300 music videos a year you had product placement? And give me just some of the top three music videos that Daymond John's product was in.
I don't know, any of them. I hate to say this one because of what he's going through, but all the Puffy videos.
No Diddy.
Yeah, listen. And I don't know, Annie Up.
Annie Up?
The Biggie. Yeah, that's just everyone.
Good stuff. Good, got it.
Well, you know where people will actually notice my stuff and they didn't realize it? When I walked these 3 girls around New York City and said, these girls are gonna be stars and they'll wear all your clothes for the first 3 years of their show for $75,000, and nobody believed me. So I just put my brand Coogee on them. So if you look at the Kardashians, for the first 3 years, they're wearing all Coogee because I was co-managing the girls. So, yeah.
Crazy.
But so here's why I went to New York Film Academy. Because I realized every time when I was on a video set that I couldn't tell if at that time videos took forever. I couldn't tell what camera they were using and if my stuff got in. So I could put a shot, an outfit on him, but if they're using a wide lens and they were shooting really far back or they were shooting in slow-mo and he was in a group, I would never see it. And so I had to pay my money for it and I had to wait, 2 months till it came out. And I'm on set all day looking around, but I started to understand, we're doing a camera lens. We're doing a lens change. All right, I knew I had a half an hour before they did because they were moving the camera. I knew to go in there and say, no, you got to change that shot or I'm not paying you. And it saved me a bunch of time because I started learning about key lights and whatever the case is. So fast forward, they called me for a show called Shark Tank. I said, all right, I'm going to go out there and go to Shark Tank. They have us, like 8 people who are sharks. I get on the camera. Now, Kevin and Robert are already on Dragon's Den. Right? Lori already did QVC. Barbara was a correspondent on one of the shows. But because I knew positioning, lighting, and continuity of how to shoot the shot, I was already prepped and I was ready. And that's why one of the reasons it wasn't a question on if I was, on Shark Tank. So I've always gotten prepared way before things. There's no shortage. Like today, I need to learn more AI and more things. I don't want to leave it up to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
You don't leave it up to somebody else. Yeah. So I don't care if it's social media. I don't care if it's AI. I don't care what it is. You need to do it because when you own a business or you want to start a business, well, if you don't know any of the fundamentals, well, then when somebody comes in, if they do really good, they hold you hostage. But if you know the fundamentals, you know if they're full of shit. Or you go, this person's a rock star, I can put this person here and now I can pay attention to something else. So I've always realized that you have to try to learn something every single day and something really critical about what you do,
Yeah, I completely agree. Yep. And I know a lot of the people in this room really work hard to study their craft and execute. And I know a lot of the people in this room, this isn't like we just book tickets for a bunch of random people. Everybody in here is connected to us, whether it's me, whether it's Alex, whether it's Breven, whether it's Zach Dingy, Tony, everybody in here is basically family to me and everybody is hustling. Entrepreneurship is on the rise, I think. Or do you think it's always been? No, it's new, right? It's starting up.
No, it's democratized now. It's never been easier to be an entrepreneur. The problem is, it's never been easier to be an entrepreneur, and you've got to be able to adjust and pivot. Entrepreneurship is truly something about you act, you learn, and then you repeat. You never arrive. You always have to keep learning. But you have access to goods, resources, information. I didn't have analytics before. Well, in 1993, when I wanted analytics on my stuff, I had to stand outside the Apollo Theater at midnight when those drunk people came outside of the Apollo Theater and they told me what they thought about my shirt and my mother, right? I didn't have any analytics.
Yeah.
I couldn't hashtag the word Fubu and see who likes it and doesn't like it. The only people who would talk to me is the one who would say your baby's beautiful. You wouldn't hear the person who didn't know you in the room saying this is shit, right? So you have analytics today. You have ways to have people prepay, Zelle, I had to wait 30, 60, 90 days for somebody to pay me. So the information is purely here. It's just those who just read the first line never get anywhere. The first line is somebody who paid the most for you to read the first line. It's not necessarily, the information is usually when you dig down deep in your analytics,
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. I'm blown away, honestly. Damon, I can't even believe we're doing this right now. I have a good question that would be cool to start.
And I know you're going to pimp this video out for the rest of your life. I know, and Yep. I'm going to have the office call him, send him a cease and desist. I'm going to sue you. Then you're going to come back over. I didn't know. I didn't read that stuff. I didn't read the contract. I know what's going to happen, man. So let's just get over with it. Let's get over. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, Damon.
And that's going to be your co-defendant right there. So let's go.
So okay, I think this next question, and I have a good question that I'm saving for our Q&A. Did you say that you want us to pass the mic around and do a couple of audience questions?
No, I'll just ask if you had any that anybody can benefit, everybody can benefit from. Don't ask a question that's only one person can benefit from.
Understood, completely understood. So
did I thank Allie? Where's Allie at? Where's Allie and her mom?
Allie Krieger? Yeah, she's right there.
Yeah, and all. And where's your guy at? Who did I just meet backstage?
Tyler Lyden?
Tyler, yeah, right. And Gerard, thank you. Anyway, I just want to shout out everybody who was on stage before me and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree. This is not possible without the talent and people like you. So, okay. So this is telling of your charitable efforts, and I think you'll probably roll into talking about everything you do for everybody and all these different organizations. But the sort of simplest form of charity was like, and I know that you do this for other people, is like we walked in a bar and asked you to be on a podcast and you gave us a shot. Like that to me is like the singularity of charitable act, and I know it's even bigger than that, raising tons of money. Or whatever. So you're doing like the most. So why did you give us a shot? Why'd you give us a shot?
Because you asked. Most people just don't ask for the shot. Most people are scared. Yeah.
Changed my life. It's crazy. It's a full circle moment.
Yeah, you asked, and I mean, what was the worst scenario? I said no, right? That would be the worst scenario. But I've always learned to ask, and you were very respectful about it. And then, a lot of people a lot of people like to ask only for money, right? But money is readily available. It's always out. But OPM, as you've heard me many times say, is other people's mind power, manpower, manufacturing, marketing, mentors. You can make money off other people's mistakes. I remember I was talking to this one woman, and I love bartering because everybody here has a system. They have something they're really knowledgeable about. I was talking to this one woman. She was a Spanish teacher, and she said, "I'm not making enough money, and I need a car." And she was a friend of mine, and I said, "Okay, here's what to do." So I set her up with a dealer. She will go down to the local dealership, and every single Saturday she speaks she teaches anybody they want, any of their customers or not. She will teach 2 hours of Spanish every single Saturday. So some parents are dropping off this kid while they take this kid to soccer, various other things. The dealership started to become known, as it was in California, as more of a dealership of the community. Right? Number one.
Okay.
She said, in return, let me borrow one of your dealer cars. I'll put no more than 1,000 miles on it. So now she had a car that she didn't have to pay for. She didn't need insurance. It was always brand new. She got 5 clients out of tutoring for full time, and now she does it for 4 dealerships. So she quit her job as a teacher. It's bartering. Every single person here has a skill set. When I used to go onto video, so even till today, I say, what is the value? You want money? Money's fine, but what can I do here and there? So when you came and you offered us that, because George saw that he said, you know what? This young man has a great eye. They can produce stuff. When you're up here, you want to shoot your own podcast, maybe we can hire them. And so that's how we started to have a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
It can happen like that to every single person in the room. People are just so much thinking about like Shark Tank. Hi, sharks. I got this, give me this for that. But people are always willing to trade, because when you pitch somebody, don't pitch them. Let's say your service, let's say $2,500 was a video that you can make for somebody. I wouldn't say $2,500, because how long did it take you to learn that? I would say to them, listen, I'm going to buy you $10,000 worth of my time. And in exchange for that $10,000 worth of my time, you don't really like it, you don't have to use it, you can use it for something else. Because the video itself that you made could be $2,500, but the life lessons that you've learned to get to that point is worth way more. And when you give somebody something in exchange, if you don't put a value on yourself, well, they don't know any better. So as everybody here goes out to negotiate, always understand the value that you bring, because there's somebody, like I said, Samsung was number 20, 30 on the list. I didn't go to Tommy Hilfiger, Nike, and Ralph Lauren. I went to the ones who said, we have all the manufacturing, but we're not hip. And that's how you have innovation. That's how you have sales. That's how you have strategic partners. And that's the basic. What's the book that I sent? I think I sent you the book. It's called The Art of Barter. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
I'm just saying there's so many ways for people to grow their businesses and services that people have no idea about.
Yep. And I'm learning this in real time. You know, being in business with you, not being in business with you, but being in my business and working with you has helped me learn a lot about what it means to be in business.
Then some people don't want to share information about other people they work with. Listen, you can't stop an A-type personality from succeeding no matter what. You're never going to stop them. So you might as well either support them or get out of the way. Right? So if somebody's working in your system, absolutely, give it up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We were having a call earlier today. I said, hey, man, look at my schedule. You want to go any place on my schedule where you think you'll get a whole bunch of clients? Come with me. You don't charge me for the thing if you want, and come with me, and I'll introduce you to everybody and say, hey, this is a great kid. I'm never going to be able to stop this man. He's the only one who can stop himself.
Thank you. Thank you, D.
Thank you.
So I don't want to, okay, cool. So a lot of us here being entrepreneurs, right, we're in these situations all the time where, you got the chocolate thunder? Is that the chocolate thunder?
The best. It's like Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, and that Blazers, that jacket's fire too.
Pop? Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah. John Barbados, 80% discount on Woodbury Commons. Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a 3 tips. Maybe it's what do you say to someone out there who's like working on mastering their elevator pitch? Right. In the beginning, when you and I first started working together, you know, almost every interaction was an elevator pitch. Right. I have like 30 seconds. I got your ear. 30 seconds. And I had to learn how to articulate what I do. So I think it's really important for everybody in the room, whatever you do. If you own a hair salon, you are a videographer, you're a filmmaker, you're a I don't know, you could be anything. You could be a tattoo artist, you could sell pins on the side of the road, like whatever. Everyone needs to like be able to articulate what they do in like 10 seconds. So what is a tip that you have for somebody who's learning to work on their elevator pitch?
Well, first of all, when you have something, you always have to ask yourself, why me, why now, and why this? If you can't answer all 3 of those things effectively, then you don't have anything worth anything. And I always say you have to remember, like, you know, there's only 3 ways to operate a business, right? Acquire a new customer, meaning 3 ways to deal with a customer. Acquire a new customer, upsell a current one, or make one buy more frequently. Acquiring a new customer is 20 times harder. If you're looking at somebody to pitch, well, remember the 4 reasons why people consume: to live, entertain themselves, educate themselves, or to pay somebody to do something they're too lazy to do themselves. And so when you start looking at those targets, then you start understanding how to master a pitch. The best way to master a pitch, there's 2 ways a lot of people say what you should do is be able to write the entire pitch on the back of a business card. So you either need to write really, really small or 3 or 4 words, right? But a pitch is it's an infomercial. An infomercial gives you the exact formula of a pitch. You express to somebody that there's a problem either they knew they had or they didn't know they have. You validate why you're the person to solve that problem. Then you over-deliver on what you can to get them into your cycle or to listen, because it's hard to break people's habits. And if they don't like what you have to make them feel like they can get out of it because they took the risk, right? So an infomercial is, hey, were you ever doing this and you said to yourself, there's gotta be a better way? All right, so now you've indicated there's a problem. Well, I'm Daymond John, and I've been working on this for 5 years, and I failed a million times until I found a better way. So now I've qualified myself on why I'm that person to find that better way. But if you, tonight, by 12 o'clock, you know that number's been up there forever, it's not by 12 o'clock. By 1, I'm gonna give you 3 better ways. So now you've said to them, I want you to feel like you're getting an overabundance when you deal with me. And then the last one, and if you don't like it, you can send it back. So you gotta find ways to master that within your pitch, because it's always about what's in it for the person you're pitching. Because remember, a no is just a request for more information.
Everybody, make some noise for Daymond John. Let's go.
Thank you.
Get on your feet. Get on your feet. Daymond John.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, D. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Yep.